Yo, so today I'm gonna check out a video by Chojimi or Chojimi. I'm not sure if I apologize if I mispronounced that. I think it's Chojimi or Chojimi. Hopefully it's one of those, but I'm gonna check out his video. Titled Kiikiii continues to save K-pop. I'm really interested to see what he has to say about that. Cause so far I've been enjoying Kiikii's music, even though I haven't listened to their entire discography as of now. But yeah, I think they're very talented. They have great music, and yeah, I'm interested to see what he has to say about Kiikiii. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. Let's get straight into it, man.
Kiikiii continues to save K-pop, and you know what? I tried to tell people. I tried to warn people, like a town crier heralding the apocalypse. I tried to warn people of Kiikii's inevitability, and they called me crazy for it. Looking back just a little bit, there's something about Kiikii's debut that is compelling on its own. Mainly, I think because of how conceptually thorough it was. Everything they did had texture to it, whether it was visual, sonic, even tonally, throughout the whole album. The leading
I haven't listened to this album yet, but I will be checking it out soon, so stay tuned for that.
concept, Uncut Gems, translated some of that poetic jaggedness into the roughness of the song's beats. Groundwork, in particular, kind of scratches at you at times. It is intentionally abrasive from a musical and conceptual perspective. That level of detail made the project feel to me so deliberate in a way that was compelling. I was sold on the idea of Uncut Gems, however, all over the place that album ended up being. The general consensus, I would say, around Kiikii's debut seemed pretty consistent with this. For most people, the aesthetics and design were strong, but the music didn't always feel like the right match for what was going on visually. And while I've grown to appreciate Uncut Gems over time, I really think There They Go and One Off are two of the more interesting K-pop releases from last year. I do agree in some ways that the album's sense of mysterious aimlessness worked against its reception. This kind of style is just not for everyone, something we've seen play out again more recently with Internet Girl.
I mean, we all do it. You see a line.
Internet Girl? Oh gosh.
I have no idea what it's for, but your brain is like, should I join it? It's crazy.
When meme culture bleeds too heavily into the music itself, it becomes a sticking point. Its reception. This kind of style is just not for everyone, something we've seen play out again more recently with Internet Girl. When meme culture bleeds too heavily into the music itself, it becomes a sticking point for a lot of people. I would say humor in music is generally accepted and even welcomed, but meme humor is something entirely different. It tends to become dated fast and often lands as awkward and too cringy to consume when removed from that space. Kiiikiii, right, is a perfect example of how that kind of joke can immediately alienate listeners. But all of that in mind, I think this is what makes Delulu Pack all the more interesting. There are smarter ways to approach this territory.
Dude, this album was fire, bro. Oh man, this shit was so fucking fire, bro. I loved every single song. If you haven't checked out that video, it's on my channel. You can find it. You already know what to do.
And the way this comeback commits to a singular and intuitive enough idea is genuinely remarkable all on its own. Really, I think the smartness of this album's composition succeeds at maintaining intrigue where the debut album did not for a lot of people. On first impression though, Delulu Pack as a title to an album reads as the kooky, quirky kind of unserious. It seems to signal a continuation of Kiikii's flirtation with meme culture. Delulu is a word that usually carries a self-aware edge, sometimes heartbreakingly cringy when in the wrong hands, but overall it's a shorthand for being delusional, living in a fantasy or being in denial about something, or being willfully detached from reality, right? But what's ultimately interesting to me is how this album defines that meaning without having to say much about it. Rather than treating delusion as a joke or a meme, Delulu Pack leverages the term in a surprisingly highbrow way, tying directly into the title track's message about starting over and choosing who you want to become. There's an implicit argument you get by the end of this album, that reinventing yourself, carving out a path that hasn't already been laid out, does require a certain degree of delusion. You have to believe in a version of yourself that doesn't exist yet in order to press forward to a reality where that does exist, right? And so
no lie, bro. I'm not even gonna I agree with that, bro. I'm right now, I want to grow this YouTube channel into something bigger. Obviously, many people have called me delusional for saying that, but I gotta believe in myself, you feel me? But yo, like sometimes, bro, you gotta be delusional if you really are trying to like work towards something, bro. You gotta like be delusional in a way. So I agree with this. I'm not even gonna hold you.
Delulu Pack identifies delusion as a necessary aspect of being self-created. I think this is a big part of the better reception this time. There's a level of nuance that makes this concept feel a bit more tangible, a bit more believable. Funnily enough, I do think Uncut Gems operated under a similar wavelength as a title. You know, on one level, it seemed to gesture towards the members themselves as the Uncut Gems, but it also reflected the eclectic and often rough-edged nature of the music. These were songs that felt pulled straight from the ground and left to shine in their own without any kind of refinement. I think the idea was conceptually sound overall, but in practice, it just wasn't compelling enough to fully carry people along for the ride. It didn't give a clear enough entry point, and I think as a result of that, a lot of people bounced off. Delulu Pack uses
I'm honestly very interested to see how this album is gonna sound. I haven't listened to it yet. I will be listening to it. Like the next Kiiikiii video after this will be the reaction to that album. So yeah, I am very interested to see how that album is gonna sound now.
a similar naming logic, but the difference is how much more intuitively it connects to the music this time. This project, to me, more than anything, works to show Kiiikiii flexing their vision, establishing a foundation for the music and ideas to come with this group. The title track 404, The New Era, builds on UK Garage. I'm sorry. I can't stop saying it like that. The title track 404 New Era builds on UK Garage and UK House. London Noise, of course, delivers steady 4-on-the-floor pulses layered with bouncy synths and evolving bass lines. The repetition creates a very nice groove that carries on this narrative of stepping into a new era. The song uses subtle shifts in texture to mirror these lyrical ideas of transformation. Once again, the focus on house music specifically for this type of narrative feels so thoughtful and smart from the get-go. House music embodies reinvention. When disco was declared dead, when the mainstream stopped serving the communities who created dance floors in the first place, out of that came a new operating system. Online, a 404 error indicates that the server cannot find the requested webpage. It means the browser is connected to the server, but the specific URL you have is broken or has been deleted or is moved somewhere else. It's no longer accessible. In dance music history, that same kind of removal often becomes a cause for invention, to build a metaphorical new webpage out of something that has been taken away from you. 404 places its concept inside of this lineage, shaping its ideas immediately about starting.
Damn, that's crazy, bro. I didn't even think about it like that. That's actually crazy. What the fuck?
Alone. I think voice also plays a central role in how the title track builds its environment. Most of the song is spoken word, with specific chorus moments in a lower register that I would say gesture towards ballroom commentary. These vocal inflections sound a lot like the cadence of commentators who guide energy on the dance floor.
Oh, okay, I see. This song is a banger, bro. This shit still hits, bro.
This comparison, but at the very least, I think the vocal approach draws from the function of ballroom commentary. It works to energize the track and positions us as
the
listener.
I get it. Oh,
inside of this space. It defines how we inhabit the beat, right? Guiding attention and momentum in ways familiar to club and ballroom settings. And to put all of it quite plainly, I think this is it. There is vision and there is intention in this song. What ultimately distinguishes 404 New Era is Kiiikii's willingness to treat genre as meaning. What a novel concept in a year like 2026, sorry. The group approaches house with some level of understanding of its cultural function and historical weight. That degree of attentiveness, right, signals such a real promise for this group. The same kind of potential that I saw at their debut, but a lot more palatable this time. So much more focused. If Kiiikiii continues to build concepts with this level of care, they really stand to become such a compelling example of how hungry audiences are for thoughtful and ambitious pop music. Delulu Pack feels like this group flexing their muscles and getting ready to lay down some serious groundwork for the industry ahead. Moving elsewhere on the album, the opening track Delulu establishes tone immediately. Camp energy meets outright craft, producing a song that is both playful and, again, nuanced. Unlike their debut, we are circumventing the meme of the term Delulu, and the humor of this album only really emerges from intention. Tech house fidelity underpins this track, while the song lyrically reframes the word Delulu into something very earnest, treating something largely misunderstood as a joke with careful nuance. The team behind Kiiikiii could have easily overlooked the seriousness behind a term like Delulu, but instead they chose to really really work to identify what makes it feel important to some people. Delulu is a term that is often used flippantly, but there's a very serious school of thought that rests underneath that. To start off the album no less, this gives Kiikiii an expansive sense of depth, a rich idea to explore right at the start, and importantly, so importantly, Kiikiii follows through with that potential in the subsequent songs. The project as a whole signals a shift in approach, much more culturally aware this time and focused on the craft of musical storytelling. Underdogs then expands the sound with scale and complexity. Elastic, sometimes almost rubbery rhythms carry energy and momentum. Vocals move between urgency and warmth, with airy pre-choruses that let the space breathe before we're heading off to fight for ourselves and for what's important to us. The song blends texture and emotion perfectly. It works to create a surprisingly rich soundscape where every element feels meaningful. I think this song, more than any on the album, embodies ambition all throughout, showing off Kiikii's ability to maintain cohesion while exploring a broader musical palette. Texture is once again the star of the show for this album. Each song really inhabits its own space, while all contributing to the album's collective atmosphere. The group demonstrates fluency in diverse influences, shaping them into a unified statement about delusion. It's unique and weird, but ambition and intention shine throughout all of it. I think to sum it all up as plainly as possible, this album feels good. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's very satisfying to listen to a project that is made with such obvious intention. This is Kiikiii at such a strong moment of refinement and assertion in their own artistry. The album demonstrates their understanding of texture and narrative and genre as expression. I cannot wait to see what this group does next. Very, very excellent album on first impression. These are all of my thoughts right now on Delulu Pack. I think my favorite song right now is Underdogs by far. Just so unexpectedly excellent from start to finish. The first three songs pack quite
I don't
much.
blame
I have
you,
not been
man.
able to get over them. But thank you for watching this. If you did, let me know what you think about this album. The musical influences pulled, the aesthetics, the concept, your favorite songs at the moment, and things like that. Yeah, thanks again for watching. Subscribe if you want to, and I will see you next time.
That was a good video. Yeah. So you mainly kind of talked about the Lulu Pack. Or you talked about like both albums. But what do I think? Okay. So the question is Kiikiii saving K-pop right now? Okay. Here's the thing. While I do like Kiikii's music so far from what I've listened to, right? It's hard for me to say, like, to give like an actual answer, because I feel like, to me at least, I don't think K-pop is in a position where it needed to be saved. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like K-pop's gotten to that point where it's like, because you know, you see on social media all the time where you know, people saying like, oh, K-pop fell off, this and that, we're getting all this like sloppy nonsense and whatnot, right? But to me, I don't feel like it's been like that. Like last year, we got some great music from several different groups. Like people look to like Spaghetti, Gnarly, like people want to put the blame on, people look at those songs and think K-pop is falling off, which I don't think that's the case. I really don't. Like, the music is still good. It's still good. Like, these groups are still dropping good music. Like, I can name you some albums that dropped last year that were fantastic. FE3O Forward, Blue Valentine, both of those albums by NMIX, both fantastic albums. You got Bomb, Islet, you got Hot, Le Seraphim. Like, what are we talking about? You know? So that's why I don't necessarily think that I don't necessarily think Kiikiii is saving K-pop, only because I don't think K-pop is in a position where it needs to be saved. You feel me? But yeah, nonetheless though, like, I enjoyed this video. I can agree with his points on Delulu Pack and him talk about, you know, Kiikiii in general, and I'm really looking forward to listening to their debut album. So yeah, that's all I really gotta say. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like, comment down below, subscribe to the channel for more. And actually, before I sign out, I want to ask you guys this: do y'all think Kiikiii is saving K-pop right now? Whatever your answer is, explain it in the comments. I'm really curious to see what you guys think. And yeah, other than that, I'll catch you on the next one.